Hey, Gearheads, Jeff with Gear Report, back in, said act professional, Trey, come on. Oh, you guys, you don't know what you miss in the pre-show little discussions. Having a lot of fun. This is going to be, it's going to be a good show, I can tell, because everyone is fired up and having fun already in the, what do we call it, in the green room? Is that where we were? I don't know what we call it. Anyhow, this week at Gear Report, we're going to talk about what's been published this week. We had a few things, what's coming, and then anything else we feel like talking about. So if you're out there, we've already got an active chat going on with Nighthog and see, Toby was out there. He's with us here now. Let's see, Gunloving Grandpa. So good to see Buck out there as well. People out there chatting it up a little early. So thanks for being here. If you're here watching and you hadn't said anything yet, go ahead and say something so we know you're there. And remember, this is intended to be an interactive show. We are here to interact with you, right? So let us know what questions, comments you have, anything like that. And, you know, we'll be happy to thank you for that. All right. I'll tell you what, do people follow directions here or what? I said, if you are here, say something in the chat. So Clover says something. Excellent. Well done, Clover. We appreciate that. All right. So who wants to kick off this week at Gear Report? I know Clover has published some stuff. So why don't we do this? I'm going to bring the screen up with the Gear Report site. And there we go. We'll hit share on that so now we can see it. And let's scroll down and kind of work through what has been published since last time. So the Grail Ultralight Compact Purifier. I don't know if we talked about that one before. Joe, I think Joe wrote that one. Yeah, Joe's not here with us on the chat. So if you're into camping and backpacking stuff, or you just like to be prepared and you wouldn't mind having a water filter around the house in case there's an emergency, there's this and probably a few others that we've got if you search Gear Report to give you some ideas on whether this might be a good fit for you or not. So there's one. Let's go back to...
That was a fun one to edit, Jeff, because when I started getting down to the readability at the bottom, going through it, it was all red because he had so many, like, you know, biological terms, science terms and all that. It's like, please make it easier to read. And I was like, I can't, you know?
Right. Okay, but that gives me a good segue. No, it doesn't. Never mind. I thought this was one of yours, but, you know, looking to see if he showed up. He's not here. Mitch has been in this discussion for the past few weeks. He's shown up and participated. And then he got this review in for the Springfield Armory TRP operator. It's a 1911. And then he's not here to talk about it. So we can chat about that real quick. But because someone else edited it, I'll be honest with you, I've been so busy, I have not actually read every word of this so far. But I can tell you, from what I've seen, he likes it. All right.
Yep.
We have never had a perfect 5.0 out of 5.0 gears review, a Gear Report. We probably never will. And it is rare that we have a 4.5. But Mitch loves this one. He marked it as a 4.5. And if you're interested in, you know, what he thought about it, why he gave it a 4.5, then I encourage you to go check it out. So,
now, in your eyes, is there a such thing as a 5-gear review? I mean, is there a product? Is there such thing as a perfect product?
So what I'll tell you is I've yet to run across one.
Yeah, sure.
Is there one out there?
Something wrong with it, you know?
Maybe, probably.
Glock 19.
What's that?
Glock 19.
Glock 19. Well, you know, I thought that the legendary Glock was going to get a perfect 5.0, but apparently it didn't work that either. So
no,
yeah, hard to say.
Negative.
Negative. Yep. Negative Ghost Rider. The BS meter is full.
The BS meter is full.
Yep. So I don't want to get too opinionated. I'd love to hear from the folks watching. Do you like 1911s? Do you think so? So that's one thing. It's a 1911 review. You a Springfield Armory fan? Do you like 45? I mean, we don't have someone like G Web's in here to bash 9mm and sing the praises of 45 ACP. The what's he call it? The Lord's caliber, I think. So yeah, I'd be interested to hear what people think. But yeah, according to Mitch, that's a hell of a firearm. He really enjoys it. So all right, that puts you up, Clover. Why don't you tell us about this new series that you're kicking off? If you don't mind, start with the concept and your inspiration, and then talk about the specific gun shop here, if you don't mind.
Oh, okay. So you want me to sing your praises first? I got you. Okay, I feel you. Yeah, it was kind of born out of the show us your Humvee thing, right? An ongoing series. The thing is, it would be really hard to do something like this with YouTube, because they get into the whole promotion thing and all of that good stuff. So I don't know, it probably wouldn't go over well. That's what I'm saying. So I got to thinking, how can I put some stuff out there? Because in all my articles, when it gets down into where you can find the product, I mean, I'm always putting in there that shop local first, check local first. And so how can I expand off of that and kind of cheat and use the show us your Humvee format in a way and all of that? So I started out with this first one here, which is one of my local shops, and I've got a few local shops around. And what I'm going to end up needing, sort of again like show us your Humvee, is I'm going to need people out there to engage and help with this. Because can I travel an hour or two to check out some shops or something? Sure, I can, but I can't go all over the country and do it. So if you help out with this by contacting me and meeting the requirements, which are at the bottom of the article, by the way, you can find, and I'll put those in every article. That way, subsequent people see those and they know, what all is involved to make this happen. But yeah, if you got a shop you like, then get with me. Let's get that information. Again, I could do some traveling and get some of that information, but the whole idea is to try to showcase some of these smaller shops. They all kind of have their own little thing. I mean, some shops are really good, and that's why I put, if you scroll down there, Jeff, you'll notice that I've got actually a gear rating for like different aspects of these shops as far as the inventory. And it's because some shops have a really good selection of inventories, on, let's say, new firearms. Some shops have a really good selection on used firearms, ammunition, accessories, whatever it might be. And so I don't know about other people, but around here, I don't necessarily go to the same place if I'm looking for ammunition as if I'm looking for, just want to see what's on the shelf, a used firearm to pick up at a reasonable price. So, that's a really cool aspect to incorporate. But, again, I go back to the local shops, and they all kind of have, like that, the inventory and other things. They all kind of have their little niche and special things. This one in particular serves lunch off the grill every Saturday. So they are a authorized dealer for Green Mountain Grills, which is a pellet grill. And I need to do a review on those maybe for Gear-Report eventually. But they I absolutely have had mine for years now. I absolutely love it. But getting sidetracked. Being a dealer for that, I mean, it's really easy for them. They carry all of the supplies and everything else to grill. So, it's just a matter of them buying some meat at Sam's or Costco or wherever on sale, throwing it on the grill and cooking it up for everybody. So really cool, small shop.
Nice. So I have got to correct something you said, and let me get to the screen sharing. and I want to show you. I cannot take credit. Maybe I was your direct inspiration, but I've got to show you what my buddy Joe did here. If it will load, there we go. You see Joe. Joe has "Show Us Your Cat."
Well, there you go.
And it is referring to catamaran sailboats, and he's on. How many? I think he's done like 50 or something now. He's got to be pushing a year. So I talked to him. I said, dude, I am thinking about blatantly like wholesale copying what you do. Are you okay with that? And he was like, oh yeah, that's awesome. So only he said it funny because he's British and he's got one of those accents. But
Sure.
But yeah, so it's been really cool.
I didn't wholesale copy. That's one good thing is there's no video in these, so
right. Yeah. So anyhow, I just wanted to be sure I gave credit where credit was due. There, this was not my idea. I'm not even sure it was Joe's idea. I think he said that a friend of his started it with like skateboard stuff,
Right.
So. And each person seems to put their own spin on it and do something a little bit different. And Joe and I have still been pretty cooperative in trying to help each other out. So as he learned something or I learned something, we share that. And obviously here within the Gear Report team, everyone here has got their own channel and publication. Everyone in the discussion tonight, and we have been very cooperative and sharing ideas and helping each other. So. Yeah, we'll see if we can. What did I just do here? There we go. We'll see if we can make this continue to be a cool theme that gets better and better for everyone.
Has there ever been a great idea that wasn't stolen?
By me, you mean? I mean, no, but I'm working on it. I'm trying to get to all of them. Yeah. So let's see, other things. AJ is not here to talk about his Streamlight TLR2 shotgun 4N, but let's just scroll through that real quick because this is kind of neat. It takes the idea of having some sort of attached weapons light, especially if you're using it for home defense. Some people like to have a light actually on the firearm, and if that is how you like to do things, this has got the light, and I believe the controls built in right there to the forend where your hand is going to be, so you can rack the shotgun to make it really convenient and built in. So you go, and what did he give it? 4 out of 5. So he liked it, which doesn't surprise me. We've had a pretty good relationship with Streamlight because generally we like almost everything they make, and we've had really good luck with it. So the reviews tend to do pretty well. They keep letting us send things, so that works out pretty well. Anyone have thoughts on attaching a light to a personal defense gun, like a home defense gun?
I don't like attaching them to pistols for everyday carry, but I do have a nightstand, pistol that's got a light on it. My AR pistol that I run for home defense has a light on it. So I think that for home defense, especially if you plan on, if you're not plan on it, but if you are attacked at night and all that, I think a light is good because a light can be not only just for identification, but it could also work as a weapon in itself. It can blind that threat enough for you to get away and all that. So I'm all for it. I tell you what's interesting, and I've never used one. I don't know, ask you guys. Have any of you guys ever used like a foregrip with a built-in light? Because those look interesting.
Yes. I've got a, what is it? Well, let me back up. It doesn't have a built-in light. I've got a Fab Defense on, I think it's my DPMS AR that has a place in it for, it's like a vertical foregrip, but then it has a place in it for like a 1-inch flashlight, and it has a trigger on it that pushes the back, pushes the momentary button, right, of the flashlight once you mount whatever flashlight, 1-inch flashlight you want into it. And then of course it matches the ergonomics of the grip matches the actual pistol grip and everything.
I got you.
Oh.
Yeah, I was looking at someone had sent me an email and asked if I'd ever used this product before, and I don't remember what brand it was, but it was a vertical foregrip, but it had at the top of it, it had a light. So when you have your hand on the vertical foregrip, there's a little button, the switch that turns the light off or on, but it's inside, built into the foregrip. And I had never seen, I mean, I'd seen them before, but I'd never used one, but I didn't know if they were reliable. I mean, I guess if the light ever goes out, you still have a vertical foregrip, I guess, but I'm not a big vertical foregrip guy. I like the angle better, but I didn't know if you guys ever used one of those. Sorry, didn't mean to throw it off the rails.
It was fine. No, and I was in the Air Force. They didn't hardly train us what end of the gun was dangerous. So I don't have a lot of tactical training or anything like that. But early when we started reviewing, we were doing some work with with a brand that I'm not happy with now, Bear Creek Arsenal. They had a guy there that was absolutely fantastic. That was our contact, and he had been in a Humvee that got blown up in Afghanistan, I think, and he was okay, but had some kind of lingering health issues. But he had been he'd been in pretty significant combat, and when I mentioned something about weapon mounted light, he said, "Oh yeah, I love them. Makes it easy for me to figure out where to shoot." You know, like turn your light on, please. Then I know where to aim. So
yeah, the other person having
exactly,
a light, yeah.
So that made me a little like, I don't know if I want to use one of those or not. But I don't know. At some point, I am going to secure some training and learn a little bit more about that. Let's bounce back before we go back to the screen. I just want to share some feedback we got here on the earlier question about calibers and the Lord's caliber and all that stuff. I have to ask Nighthawk, who was kind enough to share this, how have you made it this long in retirement? That means you're not a teenager, right? You've been around a few years and you've never shot 9mm. I think someone needs to take you to the range and put a 9 in your hand.
He lives about an hour and a half from me, so he's going to come down and shoot sometime. And trust me, he'll get a 9 in his hand.
Well, he's going to be getting a 9 in the mail here for too long.
He was the winner of our Clover Nose gun giveaway. In, SHOT Show. Yeah. So he's got
that's stellar. Hey, congrats on that, Nighthawk. All right. All right. So let's see. Let me go back to the screen here, and device is not connected, it says.
Hey, let me back up and say he's not going to get it in the mail. His FFL is going to get it in the mail.
Yeah,
and he'll have to go fill out the paperwork and pick it up.
Yeah.
The views and expressions of CloverTac do not necessarily reflect law or that of Gear-Report.com.
Yeah.
Obviously.
All right. Okay, so moving along here, another one that got published. So anyone who was here last week remembers that I was down with TJ in Florida, and we spent part of the day on 2 different days last week at Royal Tiger Imports. And before leaving, I was able to get my hands on this M1 carbine that I showed you the box last week, but because of the rules here on live streaming on YouTube, I couldn't actually get the firearm out and show you. So here we go. I wanted to give you just a quick sneak peek here of, I think we looked at some of the pictures of how many guns they had. I haven't had a chance to take it apart and fill in the blanks on what all the parts are. I mean, to collectors, and I am a collector, but to people who really get into the both of the M1s, each of the parts is marked, and it actually makes a difference in value and desirability if you have the correct parts and correct era, correct, like what it would have left the factory in. So if you have any interest on seeing more about that gun, you can check that review out. And when I'm back on screen, if you look behind me, you'll see that gun sitting up on the rack where I am not touching it because of the wonderful people at YouTube that make this possible and their rules. All right.
So did you get to hand pick the one that you bought?
Yes and no. I did pick it up and say, how about this one? And it was like the fifth one that I picked up. And the first couple, Uli there that runs Royal Tiger Imports was like, oh, no, you can't have that one. Oh, no, you can't have that one. And I eventually wore him down and got to one that he was willing to let me take. So it was it handpicked? I mean, it's not like I cherry picked the best one. There are literally hundreds and hundreds of the M1 carbines. I think there were 10 to the level on the stack, and I saw a couple of stacks. Let's see if I get back to that. Well, I mean, you guys saw the picture. A couple of those stacks that probably had 300 on each, so that I probably saw 600 or 700 there, and you know, I didn't dig through them. I picked one off the top of one of the stacks and said, how about this? And eventually he said, yeah, okay. Because I had some feedback in one of the collector groups on Facebook about, you know, oh, so you show up and you get to hand pick one, and now you're posting it like that's what I'll get if I order one. And I said, dude, you don't understand. Just because it was my hand that reached out and grabbed it, I wouldn't really call it hand picked. Hand picked to me implies that you go through and look at all the options and say, this is the best one, this is one I want. I grabbed off of, you know, like 10 that were available on top. It was like the fifth one I picked up because every other one he said, "Ooh, that's a Rockola. No, you can't have the Rockola. That's too rare." And I'm like, "Well, but that's kind of why I like it, you know." And everyone I picked up, he, no, you can't have that one. And then finally got to this one, the quality hardware one, and he grudgingly, I think it was more an issue of it was taking too long. He's like, "Okay, fine," and that was it.
But if you're paying for it, then why does it matter which one you get?
I wasn't paying for it. That was in return for coming to Florida and filming. We filmed 5 different videos, maybe more. And we put one out, which is that quick walkthrough tour that I think I showed last week or mentioned last week. And I put this review basically detailing that M1 carbine. And then we've got several others that we're going to post video on eventually. Oh, it looks like someone else has arrived when I wasn't paying attention. Who is that? Jose Juan is there, and he's eating. I'm going to bring him in anyway. But anyhow, so
I got my name tag and everything, man. Come on.
Okay, yeah, good. So I got some flack in one of the collector groups about handpicking, and in my opinion, technically maybe I handpicked it myself, but it certainly wasn't a cherry pick. You know, spend hours looking for the best one. It was, you know, the whole process of picking 5 different ones and being rejected took about 42 seconds. So, you know, it was the worst hand pick ever, I think, in terms of how I went about hand picking it. But I did see someone else commented in that thread that they had gone into the facility and gone back and looked at everything. And I don't know if he was allowed to do a hand pick or not, but that was a customer off the street that, you know, didn't know anyone, just happened to be close enough he could go get it himself. Yeah. So I don't know, but I think we've got a couple that we're trying to line up. 3 of the people here on this discussion that may be getting some classic guns from Royal Tiger here shortly to review, and I think I worked out a deal with Uli today to get the VZ52 that I had my eye on as well. So we shall see. But so we should, if you like classic guns and there's anything that you would specifically like to see, and this is mainly for people watching, leave a comment with what type of thing you're most interested in. I know that Uli is looking to get a Lee Enfield what is it? Number 4 Mark? No, number. Who remembers what he said? You guys, some of you have seen that email. What is it?
No.
Number 4 Mark 3, something like that.
Yeah, I can bring it up real quick.
He's got a couple different types like that he's looking to get out there, and some like K98s and other tend to be like World War I, World War II type vintage military rifles from around the world. So
yeah, I wouldn't mind having one of the K98, the Ethiopians. I think Clover did too. So I might have to change up. He said he wants some infield number 1 Mark IIIs, infield number 4 Mark I's, the Yugo M48, the Czech Ethiopian K98. Those are the ones that he mentioned. Yeah.
Now the number 4 Mark I's are very nice rifles. I mean, you're talking rear peep sight. You know, those are really the accurate ones of the infield.
Yeah. Yeah. So if anyone has any comments on that, if you're watching in replay, leave a comment there as well, because I think this is going to be going on for a little while. They literally had like 18 or 20,000 guns they imported, and they have boxes, you know, the big Gaylord crates that they haven't even opened yet. So it's going to be interesting to see what turns up as they go through the rest of those. All right. So Clover, you want to real briefly talk about the clay cannon?
Yeah, I picked that up. That was one of the humongous pile of things that Do All Outdoors sent me home with during the SHOT Show. So finally got around to breaking that out, putting it together, and playing with it. It's cool. I mean, if you've ever slung clays by hand, that right there is definitely the way to go for sure. And you know, did the video, and I didn't really talk about it in the video. I had some comments that were asking, and so I made sure in the written review I talked about, you know, how, you know, with what kind of speed and everything it threw the clays, and because there was some concern about that, it being handheld and spring loaded that way, and it throws as good or maybe even better. You know, the throwers, a lot of people probably have seen them that attach to the spare tires, you know, put on the ground or whatever. And it works. It works just as good as any of those. Obviously, it doesn't work as well as the big battery operated throwers, but does a good job.
Right. Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. That definitely looks interesting. I'm going to go watch that video when we get off. Let's see. Let's go back and see what else we have.
Well, it has a pistol grip on it, so that must be
the
assault clay thrower.
If you've ever been hit by a clay, yeah, you can certainly do it. There's a lot of lapping over the whole launch zone being marked, you know, comparing it to the grip zone on a Springfield. And I'm like, you know, if you've ever been hit by a clay that either somebody has thrown by hand or has come out of a machine, you will appreciate marking the launch zone.
If you get hit by a clay that's come out of a machine, that can do some serious damage.
Yep, I can imagine. Yeah.
I know from personal experience, but I haven't been.
All right, so I had to note here that the boss lady has checked in to ask what's up. So, and then that would be Clover's boss lady. So, yeah, good to hear from you, Armentia.
Show, so
yeah, Armentia, you are welcome at some point. Whenever you like to come join in this chat, you just let us know. I can arrange for the link to make it your direction. I think I've had challenges getting that link to make its way to Texas before, but I think we got it sorted out.
No, it made it to Texas. He just couldn't find it in Texas.
Right. Yeah. So a trend that folks may have noticed is we've got more knife reviews showing up now. We've got a few guys in the camping area that are doing the knife reviews. This is a really neat looking knife with two different types of steel blended together in the blade from Kershaw. And Jacob Perkins put this review together. He's not quite as big a fan. I think he tends to be kind of reserved. I don't think I'm going to have to talk him down from trying to give anyone give any products a perfect 5. He can be kind of critical, but he said he really liked this knife nonetheless, even at a 3.5. And Jacob is doing well with producing reviews, and I'm going to put some additional stuff in his hands here over the weekend for him to review, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, we're getting into more cutting stuff. You know, we hadn't done a lot of knife reviews because that just wasn't in my expertise, but we're getting more and more folks that like to write about that. So if anyone has any specific kind of knife you're looking to hear about or looking for feedback on, leave us a comment, let us know. We'll see if we can get a hold of one. Back to Clover. Clover's been a machine this week, so he gets to talk a lot.
Nothing else going on.
Yeah. Yeah, so we have. I got an interesting question from Clover about, hey, I put this pistol rest together. I mean, would that even be something that would be worth sharing on Gear Report? And I said, oh, dude, seriously, we love DIY articles. So, so what was your inspiration for this, Clover?
Inspiration for writing the review or inspiration for the rest? For the rest. Well, I mean, since I had to sing praises of you earlier with Show Us Your Humvee, then I'll just tell JJ down there thank you, because he mentioned basically this. You mentioned the Instagram post or something I put out, and how cool it would be to do that. So I turned around and wrote an article on it. As far as inspiration on the rest, there really wasn't any. It was a situation to where I had a Caldwell Pistolero, which is pretty much all plastic, a little bit of rubber, and pretty much the rest of it's plastic. And I'd had it for years, and to be fair, I didn't take care of it. It stayed out on the range. It stayed out on the tables. It rained on it. The sun heated it up, everything else. And after years, it broke, And so here I am. I've got stuff coming for T&E. I've got other videos I've got to do, and I don't have a pistol rest. And so I reached out to a few companies. I didn't hear anything. And talked to Ghost one night. He'll vouch for this. Was considering buying one. Looking at a couple and thinking I'll just buy one. And then, it was a rainy day one day, and all of this social distancing and everything else going on. And I thought, I wonder if I could build one. And so I got to rummaging through the, just the workshop and the garage and whatever for scraps and hardware and different things that I had, and the idea just kind of came together. I mean, I knew it had to be some type of a platform. That way you had some type of a base, and then you needed some way to be able to adjust it, obviously vertically up and down, and kind of went from there. There's a few upgrades, and I don't think I put that in the the article. I may have talked about the upgrades. I can't remember now. But there's a few upgrades to it that I'm kind of thinking about doing. I've got to kind of rummage around and see if I've got the parts to do it. But I would like to put, I would like for it to have the feet to be adjustable. That way, if it's sitting at an angle or something like that, and then instead of wing nuts, I would like a more ergonomic, let's say, knob system for the adjustments on it. But I've used the crap out of it since I've built it. It works great.
Basically,
wonderful.
The was it broke. He was inspired to get another one done.
Do what now?
I said your inspiration was your other one broke. So
yeah, if you call that inspiration, I mean, it was necessity is what it was.
Necessity, yeah. No, but it's really awesome being able to find some parts, some pieces that you can reuse for, or making equipment that is going to be very useful for what we do.
Yeah, I mean, and it's simple. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like it was this grandiose idea or design or anything else. And what's interesting about it is, other than the little V I used off of an old shooting stick I had, you've got that, you've got the hardware parts of it. The rest is wood. And I mean, a lot of people have, at least I do. I hoard scrap wood. So if I have even 6 to 8 inches or a foot of a board left, I'm gonna put it up in the, in one of the outbuildings or the barns or something, right? And so, even if something was to break, or if I got lazy and left it in the weather and, it started a rot or something like that, how easy is it to cut another piece of wood and repair it and go about your business?
Yeah.
So I got a question for Clover or JJ on something like this. I'll start with Clover. So, you said you had the V from an old shooting stick. If someone doesn't have an old shooting stick or have an actual rest V, is there something that you have in mind? Like, if that ever does break, what's the first kind of?
It's in the article, actually, under the materials or whatever. You can actually buy that little V piece off Amazon for about $6.
There you go.
But you could buy a whole shooting stick at Walmart for about 10.
At the same time, I mean, one of the other things that you can do is you can just get a block of 2x4 and cut the V notch in it, and that's it. I mean, you can put some foam on it just for protection of your firearm itself, but that's it.
The reason why I asked is, out of that whole project, let's be honest, that V is the most crucial part of the rest. I mean, that what makes the rest. You build the rest around that V. And so if someone's out there who's listening right now doesn't have one of those Vs, like you said, you can cut some wood or go on Amazon and get that. But, I could see this being something where it could be utilized for, you could build a rifle rest if you wanted to. Similarly, maybe have something in the back, but you could do all sorts of stuff with DIY that save a lot of money.
It works for a rifle too. I've actually got a picture in the article of like a 10-22 sitting there, and the only thing is, obviously a rifle.
Put it in the back, maybe with sandbag.
Yeah, you just have to put a sandbag under the back, under the buttstock. That's all, and it'll work for a rifle. It's not going to work if you get too heavy, But with a lighter rifle, it'll work fine.
Well, and that little pistol that you got at the top of the article is practically a rifle. Almost barrel length.
It is. I mean, it's the same length as an AR.
Subsequently, there's a article. There's a article on that coming out soon. So,
yes, there is.
Nice.
Yeah, I thought.
There we go.
I thought this was a great one. I hope there's.
Yeah.
And I'm actually thinking about making a concealment flag for the back wall. I was talking with Clover in budget last night about, and I didn't even think about it until you started that again. So that would be kind of maybe a cool DIY concealment, cabinet or flag or whatever.
Absolutely.
One of the comments, if you guys see Gun Loving Grandpa sent us that a 1/4-inch steel pipe with foam could be the support for it, I guess, for the and it says would be a P90. That could be that would work too.
There we go. All right. Thanks for the feedback from out there in YouTube land. We appreciate that. All right. Let's see. Yeah, we love the DIY articles. So I'm glad that they came up, and I'm glad that that it was asked, hey, what do you think about doing this? We absolutely love the DIY stuff. And wrapping up the already published articles, man, this was an editing nightmare because I did some things in a less than optimal way when shooting the video. The Show Us Your Humvee series has, for the most part, been people sending in pictures or maybe little video clips that we edit together, and only in a couple occasions have I actually been able to shoot the video myself. And I did a better job in prior times. While I was down in Florida last week, I shot video of a couple, I think 3 different Humvees. And boy, when I shot this one, I didn't shoot the video in an order that made sense. It made it an editing nightmare, and it took a while to get it out. But I think this may be, I'm biased, but I think this may be the best episode of Show Us Your Humvee yet, because we had some really cool rides in there, and I really like especially the one on the cover image there with the flag behind it. Gorgeous Humvee. So if you got 13 and a half minutes and you want to be entertained and see some cool stuff, you can see a rare military artillery towing Humvee, a safari Humvee project, and then a fancy, glossy paint, jacked up, all kind of cool stuff, custom Humvee that we look at this week as well. So,
what was your favorite of the three?
Say again.
What was your favorite of the three?
I think the glossy one, the last one, which is surprising to me because I'm not a glossy Humvee guy at all. Not a fan, but it was just so well done that I really liked it. Really neat build. Yep. So with that, let's let me get back to the banner. We're going to change gears here and go from recently completed reviews to reviews that will be published soon. That means we get to bring the crew back where we can see everyone and see who has new stuff that you want to talk about. Oh, and I see private chat that I've been ignoring. Sorry about that. All right. At least everyone here knows that you can't count on me to see the private chat, and you'll speak up if I'm missing something. I appreciate that. All right. Anyone?
Just real quick, Jeff. I know that on Facebook you were asking information about making or having a target for the Tomahawk throwing, and I sent you a picture of the block that I have. Yeah. So I didn't know if you wanted that one. The other thing is the other thing that you can is that picture of the knife from the review that Jacob just did. That slab of wood, that's pretty much what you want to have, because what you want to be doing is you want to be shooting into the grain of the wood that way. So that's just the best thing to do is get you some soft wood slab of and that'll be the best target. So
if you know where one is, because you're the local guy to me here, everyone else is far enough away that probably not going to help me if you know where it is, but a cross section of a large stump is fantastic. And if you go look at any of Dustin's videos, Top Shot Dustin Ellerman that we hang out with sometimes, he has got some videos. Like I watched one of his videos on how to throw the Tomahawk, and he's throwing at one of those cross sections of a really big tree stump, and it's phenomenal. I mean, it's perfect, but I haven't been able to locate one. So that's good. I mean, if you're not going to use that backstop, then I'll come grab that at some point.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to run it the other way. I have it side. With the fibers of the wood going sideways, you would have to just tilt it on its side, so it'll go vertical. But yeah, you're welcome to use it for a while.
Awesome.
That's the one that I use for the 20.
Oh, I know what you use it for.
Yeah, so
I didn't think we're allowed to talk about that. So we've seen this.
It's for that.
Yeah, we've seen. Oh yes, we've seen the Survival Hawk before, and then SOG also sent these to review, and this is a 3-pack, and these are their little throwing Tomahawks. I'm allowed to handle these, right? Because they're not firearms, and they're not weapons. It's just a little throwing tool for the sport of throwing.
Firearms.
Did you just threaten to cut me?
Yeah.
Wouldn't be the first time, right?
Hold on. Let me catch up.
Oh, hey. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but let's see if we can get the light to reflect off it. You can see we've been throwing them. They're kind of funked up already, dirty from sticking in a tree. And in the Facebook post that Jose Juan mentioned was a picture of it, them stuck in the tree in the backyard, that I'm getting some grief at home about, you're going to kill that tree. And like, well, if I keep doing it, but I was impatient. So, but anyhow, these are like 50 or 60 bucks, I think, on Amazon. I put a link up for them on the Gear Report Facebook today. And I'm telling you, I am having an absolute blast throwing them, and one of my kids has actually gone out and done some throwing with me as well. So I'm looking forward to getting a better target so we can maybe mark something to aim at and do a little bit of skills development there.
Clover put out a video earlier this week about his zombie apocalypse top 5 weapons or top 5 things for a zombie apocalypse. I would be willing to bet as if he had one of those, that would have made the top 5 list. That's a hammer, it's a hat. I mean, there's a lot of purposes with one tool.
Negative.
Right.
No.
Well, I like it.
I don't know about throwing one, but a good hatchet, that would definitely do it.
Yeah. So while we're talking about SOG, I'll just show you this. This is the SOG Seal XR, and it's kind of neat because it's got a little button here on either side. I think it's called like an opening assist button or something like that. Get in front of the camera here. When you do that, you see how it kind of comes open, and then you can kind of flick it open the rest of the way. And it's also the release to let it fold, or you can put your finger on the back and just kind of lever it open with that.
That's kind of what this is, a SOG or SOG, whatever, and it's got that little thing right there as well.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
Flip up.
Oh, wow, you've been practicing. That was fast. Yeah, so this is kind of a beefy little folding pocket knife that I'm going to put this in Jacob Perkins' hands to do a review of shortly, because he enjoys doing those knife reviews and it's proven to be pretty good at it. So he'll do a better job reviewing this than I would. So he's going to review that, and then when he's done with that review, it goes in my my kind of sailing go bag. So when I'm working with the Sea Scouts, I maintain a small fleet of sailboats for the Sea Scouts, and this will be in my tool bag to help with maintaining those boats, as well as this. And I'm blanking on what the name of this is. It's also from the same company, SOG, and I'm scrolling email real quick to look up the name of it. Power Pint. That's what it is. The Power Pint, and it's a little multi-tool. And this is also going to go to Jacob to put through the paces and test out as well. So keep an eye out for those. Those will be coming soon.
I hope this lasts longer than mine did.
Did you have something similar to this?
Have that one. Well, the previous generations, it's silver, but looks just like it. And it broke in the first 2 weeks. Yeah,
so it'll be interesting. Jacob's pretty harsh, He may be new to writing, and something I find with writers when they're new is they tend to want to not say anything bad about. So I don't know if they're afraid that they'll be seen as bashing something or what, but he is pretty wide open. If he doesn't like something, he will tell you about it. And I suspect that's going to be one of his criticisms, is the durability and whether you can depend on this, because that's what I was looking at. Like, I don't know. We'll see how it holds up. Yep.
You can use them as a pair of pliers right now, and that's about.
Yep. And it has to be some like home use, not for truly like mechanic work or stuff like that. It'll get you out on a pinch. Like they're probably really good for. My dad has several different iterations of those, and he uses them within his fishing gear. So cutting the lines, or sometimes he has to tweak some of the hooks and stuff. So it has some capabilities, but anything major that you really want to do with it, not necessarily recommended. I
don't have a problem with multi-tools. Just the SOG, for some reason, though I've got a bunch of them, but they're mostly Gerbers, and I've had no problems with them. And I want to say there was one that's what's that Walmart brand? It's Ozark Trail.
Ozark Trail, yeah. Walmart.
Ozark Trail, yeah.
It's just for some reason it just fell apart.
My dad is really big on the Leatherman tools. That's really the one, the brand that he uses, Leatherman. And his have not had any problems. And the one that he had, the mini one that has the scissors, and actually. The mini one that my dad has the scissors. It has springs at both sides of the scissors, so it opens by itself. And one of the springs broke. We were able to send it. They sent a brand new one to replace it and everything under warranty. So they have really good response for their gear and stuff. So my dad keeps on using that one. Yeah.
I can tell you what it works great for so far is I can put it up to the screen and I crush you. I crush your head. Yeah. Oh, it's working flawlessly.
Hold on, right there. I need to pick something in there. Come on.
No, that's on you. You know what they say? You pick your friends, you can pick your nose, but you can't pick your friend's nose.
Pick your friend's nose, right?
Yeah. There goes Trey with the knife again. I think he has been found out.
Hold on, Trey. Double team.
Bringing a knife to a Tomahawk fight. Yep. Nighthawk called it. Yeah. Yeah. It was a good thing you didn't have a voodoo doll.
Right.
I have a feeling I'd have been a pincushion there.
He says I don't.
Yeah. That explains this twinge I've had in my back lately. Yeah. All right. Anyone else have I don't want to monopolize this. Anyone else have something new that they want to talk about?
I just finished shooting pics for the Lucid HDX review.
Oh, cool.
Oh, I'll be working on that this week, and it should be out shortly.
Nice. Looking forward to that. We didn't get much time with it out at that Ballistic Summit event. I mean, we had some time to play with it, but there were so many things we were doing that I honestly didn't get to use it enough to really develop an opinion. So I'm anxious to hear what your opinion is after you've beat it up and used it a bit. All right.
It's so far pretty positive. As with anything, there are a couple things I have to complain about or suggestions I would make, but other than that,
right,
positive.
Awesome.
There's a sneak peek.
Appreciate that. Anyone else have something cool you want to tell us about? No? Listen, don't cut your keyboard, Trey.
I've got as I mentioned earlier, I've got that 16-inch revolver that's in the queue already. And then as far as not in the queue, some stuff I've got to try to get knocked out. One is on the Fiocchi rimfire ammunition. So I've got, I think they sent me their entire product line of Fiocchi ammo, 22 ammo, including blanks, which was really weird. I opened the box and I'm like, why did you send me blanks? What am I supposed to do with these? But
I have a great idea for you with those blanks.
I'm all ears. I'm all ears. You knocked it out of the park with a rest, so I'm all ears, bro.
Okay. Go to the Airgun Depot or one of the even Walmart or stuff. Get some of the pellets for air guns in the 22 caliber. Okay. So you're going to have to do this, one at a time in the end, but it works fantastic. It will actually go through a steel plate. Okay. You grab the pellet and you insert it into the barrel, and then you put your blank in. Okay. And when you shoot it, it shoots that pellet at astronomical speeds. It's just crazy. There are some videos on YouTube that you can find about people doing stuff like that with blanks, and it will go through metal plate.
So you put the pellet through the muzzle of the barrel.
No, from the back. So it's a little bit tricky. It's a little bit tricky to do it, but you have to push it in, and then you put your blank into a rifle, or if you have a bolt action rifle, it'll work better. Mm-hmm. Okay. And you shoot it that way. Oh, yeah.
That's a pretty good idea.
So, and with the whole new deal of not using lead in some of the pellets, you can get some of the ones that are made out of brass or copper, and even better because they're more solid and also, yeah.
I know that Toby's got some 22 stuff he's getting ready to do. That might have to be incorporated.
No. No, I do not have a what is it, death wish or a suicide pact with my 22 long rifles. I like them, and I like me.
No, I mean,
So-
this was it won't hurt the barrel because if you're using the lead pellets, it's just lead, just like the bullets on the other stuff. So
I mean, I'm not worried about the barrel. I'm just saying, there's
Go to that steel.
This.
Where's it going? It's
this
coming.
I'm worried about. It's this.
It's a trampoline.
I don't want to.
I don't know,
I don't want
man.
to hurt this.
If you did that wrong, that's an explosion waiting to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
hey, hold on. I just saw a note over here. It says nobody wants to see my ugly mug anyway. So what? It doesn't matter.
Nice.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, that's fun.
I'd be the one that the thing explodes on. Like everybody else would do it perfectly. I'd be the one that the thing explodes on. So
Nah, 22s is just too low pressure, man. You'd have to have something made out of cardboard almost or something. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, I mean, you use blanks in like the concrete nail guns and stuff, and that's not near the same quality steel and everything else as a firearm.
True. Actually, I think that it is pretty much manufactured like a barrel for a gun.
It
But
depends on the brand. If you get it at Harbor Freight, it's probably not. If you buy it at Lowe's or Home Depot, then maybe.
yeah. Yeah.
All right. This turned into a fun show. I'm glad everyone showed up tonight. This is good. All right.
You know
So-
what? Now that we're talking about those 22 blanks, I'm gonna have to find me some and go play and experiment with it because that sounds like a fun project to do.
Yeah. Just make sure you have a camera running.
Sure. Here, hold my beer, right?
Right. All right. We're getting close to the end of the hour. We should probably start wrapping up. Anyone else have anything to talk about? Stuff that's coming, stuff on the way.
The first table is done. I'm getting the framework for the second table done here this weekend. So I have the write-up already pretty much going. So I'm gonna take some pictures of the tables already assembled on the framework, and I'm gonna do a little SketchUp on the computer so I can share it with you guys too. So you'll see the framework and look at the two tables that I built.
Yeah, so
you see a video of that drum set in the background.
right. Yeah, I sold him out because you couldn't see it until I expanded the screen.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that would have to be a video of my daughter. My daughter's the one that plays.
Yeah.
I play the drums.
Yeah, well, she has that pearl set right there that we're selling right now, and because that one was a little bit too big for her room, we actually found her an electric drum set that is a lot more compact and everything, and it still has all the functions that she needed. So she has that one in her room, and it takes less than half of the space that this one used to take. So yeah. Yep.
Interesting. Okay. So something arrived yesterday. I think it was yesterday that I'm not even sure how they found this, but I got a note from the people at Crazy Cap. They have the Crazy Cap 2. That's what it says up here, Crazy Cap 2. And
put it closer to this camera.
Yeah. Let's see. I don't know if it's going to focus that close. I think maybe
Now,
one of the studio lights is kind of overwhelming it there.
Yeah, it is. Yep.
Maybe. Does that do it? Oh, you can almost read it.
Yeah. No,
I
well,
think that's a lost cause. But it's a steel bottle, like a reusable steel bottle. And the thing about the Crazy Cap is you can see it light up there. It's it's got a little UV, an LED ultraviolet light emitter here in the bottom.
So it's like a filtering, like not filtering, but it kills some of the bacteria with the UV light.
That's it. Yeah,
That's
it kills
awesome.
bacteria, viruses, everything. And it's got different settings. So if you're doing tap water, you can sterilize it, basically, make it safe, which would have been good. I mean, it's a shame it came in when I got back from Florida because the water, I'm sure, is fine there. but I carried a water filter with me because I have a sensitive digestive tract where if I change water supplies, it can mess me up for a day or two. And this may have been an interesting, to test out while we're down there. Yeah, you never know what kind of useful tidbit.
This from the guy who ate warm, individually wrapped pocket cheese that had not been refrigerated for 2 weeks.
It was only a couple days.
Just throwing that out there.
You could have tested it with the swamp water down there.
Man.
Fill it up with swamp water, and
if
then
it would have showed up in time,
that would have been it. Yeah.
But it's kind of neat because it's got this little USB plug that goes on the cap. It's got little contacts in there, so you plug it into USB and just set it down on top of the cap, and it charges the rechargeable battery in here. And it literally showed up, and I charged it, and I got some pictures, and that's all I've had time to do with it so far. So I'm eager to see how that works out. And I'm actually going to reach out to one of the other scout leaders is a professor at Elon University, and he's in chemistry, but he's in the neighborhood of the biology and other types there. And I'm going to say, hey, Dr. Wright, can you help me figure out how to validate if this actually works? Yeah. It's an ultraviolet light. I don't know. I mean, you can't see UV light, right? So how do I know if it's actually working or not? Do I have to drink crappy water and see if it makes me sick?
Yeah.
I don't like that. I want to.
Toby's shaking his head. He's like, yes.
Yeah. So I'm going to see if Dr. Wright can help me figure that out. All right, and I'm going to do something weird here. But one of my buddies, he's published his second book. So I'm going to show you a picture of it. I haven't read it yet. I'm going to. It's not outdoor gear related at all. But this guy, Mike Brantley, is hilarious. We played hockey together for a couple years. Really good guy. He's a professor at one of the universities in Eastern North Carolina, and he wrote Galvanized, The Odyssey of a Reluctant Carolina Confederate. Haven't had time to do much reading in it yet, but it seems like a really interesting story so far. So if you're, running out of things to do, you're on Rona lockdown, go check out Michael K. Brantley. He's got a couple books. Very interesting. I'm still all right. Let me tell you. I ordered this online off of his website, and it had a thing where if you request, he'll do a custom. He'll dedicate the book to you. And so I put a note. Dude, you better elevate your game here. I expect something good. And he says, for Jeff, thanks for the support. Yet another benefit of hockey. I'm like, dude, you're a writer? That's all you got? But I think it was a backhanded compliment.
Jeff, I don't know who you are,
Right. Yeah. So he's a witty guy. AT Paramedic, thanks for joining us. What is the talk subject? So what we talk about on this show, you caught it right at the end. And I'm going to change the banner here because I think we're getting into the part of the show that I call shit shooting. So we're shooting the shit here. We're just what we cover on This Week at Gear Report is what articles have been published so far this week and what things do each of the contributors here have in the queue. And with that, Trey said, "Screw you guys, I'm out of here." And so we've been through both of those, and now we just got a few minutes to kill here. Actually, we're over our allotted hour time, and at this point in the show, we just kind of talk until we get tired of it.
I thought for a second maybe your banner reminded him he had to go do something, but maybe not.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Oh yes, those are awesome.
Yeah, I picked up the assault weapon.
The bug assault. Let me. I think maybe. I wonder if Jose Juan has mine. I haven't seen it in a while. Hold on, I got to figure out how to make it bigger. Okay. Look at that. That is awesome. And that's the 2.0. I'm not sure if that's the one I have or not. I have a camouflage one, And you can go search Gear Report for a review of the Bug Assault salt gun. Have you? It's in the package, Trey. Have you gotten it out and shot it yet?
It's really in the box still, so I'm gonna have to get out and get it out here pretty soon. But yeah, I'm gonna have fun with it for sure.
All right, so I've got a warning that goes along with that. I've had one of those for years. Mine's the first gen when they first come out, and mine's still working great. By the way, the only thing is the hopper at top. Because it's plastic and everything, the hinge broke on it. And so when you fill it up, I've got a piece of duct tape over it. It looks really, really redneck. But yeah, that's what holds basically the lid to the hopper down. But when I first got it, I was having all kinds of fun. I was out in the garage and I was, shooting moths and shooting, just anything that was flying around the night lights. And I tilted that thing up and shot something on the ceiling. And when you're shooting salt above your head with no eye protection,
don't look up.
It's not, it's not fun having to wash salt out of your eyes. Just saying.
Hey, somewhat on the same lines of the bug assault stuff. We've been having a lot of bugs issues here at the house with mosquitoes over on the yard. So we got this kit, and it's a couple of bottles that have a solution in it that you're supposed to fill it up with warm water and then hang it on tree or something around the property, and it's supposed to kill the bugs. And I'm not going to necessarily make a full review or anything like that, but I'll try it out and see here in the next weeks or so as we're starting to get into the warm weather, and I'll let you all know if it works or not.
So it's supposed to kill them, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. You said warm water. I was like, they put their little hands in it. That makes them have to pee.
Yeah.
No, I think I misread it.
So it really, it's 2 tubes, and one box has the two of them, and it's got a fill line or like a water line that you're supposed to fill up, and it has the instructions, and it's supposed to last 90 days, and but this is supposed to attract the mosquitoes, and of course once you fill it up with the water, you put this other cap on it that has hook to it. Here's the other cap that has the hook. So the cap has a hook, so you're able to hang it on a tree limb or something like that, and it's supposed to attract the mosquitoes. And I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they're supposed to fall in and die, or if they're actually able to go in here, drink the solution, and go off and be inert, or they can't reproduce anymore, or what it does. But it's supposed to. Yeah. It's supposed to get rid of them.
Reminded me.
Words in boot camp: fall in and die.
I've built something similar, I guess, maybe to that. Maybe somebody else on the panel's done it too. Out of take a 2 liter. I've always taken a 2 liter bottle and cut the top on it at the top where it starts to curve up into the neck, and turn that upside down and either tape it or staple it. Right, so it makes a funnel going back into the bottle, and then fill it up with a solution of brown sugar and water and hang it up, and the mosquitoes will go in there and they can't get out because it's funneled coming up.
Yeah,
I mean, a few of them might make it out, but I mean, we're talking about insects, right? And so they usually stick to the walls of the bottle, and so they can't get out.
Huh.
Yes, but like I said, I'm not going to make a big review or anything about it. I'm just going to try to. I do stuff over in the garage a lot of the times, and my garage is detached from the house, and it's on the back side of the property, closer to the woods. Right. So I do get mosquitoes there all the time. So I'll see if this actually helps or not. But we never know.
Right. All right. So we got a question. When is the normal time and day for the show? So we are Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And we typically go for an hour, and if we got some momentum, we'll chat about some stuff. Otherwise, we'll shut it down at the hour. But it's intended to be a pretty interactive show. So you ask questions and give us feedback on the different things we're talking about, either getting ready to review or we have reviewed, and we try to make it fun. So Yeah. So Jose, you were, when you were describing it, you started with, this tube has got something that attracts them, and it's in this little tube, and it reminded me of like a perfume bottle, because it's what the ladies, they use that stuff to attract the males, and then but there's like, but the end result is they're trying to kill them, and like,
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not going to comment on that.
I'm not sure if I'm supposed to rub it on me to see if it attracts somebody else. I might as well just leave it in the bottle and just put it out there.
That's good.
That's way too. I'm sorry. I gotta.
Yeah. I tried to set someone up to get themselves in trouble there. We'll see. It looks like you guys are too smart for that. So this Lucky Shot shotgun shell shaped shot glass. Well, that's a lot of S's. I know TJ's got some in his review queue, and I helped supervise some product testing of that last week when I was down in Florida. So I think we can expect to see a review of that coming pretty soon. And thanks to Lucky Shot, this was a gift they gave us at SHOT Show for coming by their booth. TJ and I both got some. Wear it around your neck, he says, for the mosquito repellent, and they may actually work really well. I'm assuming that was a joke, but my understanding of mosquitoes are attracted to carbon. Is it dioxide? It'd be dioxide, isn't it? Carbon dioxide when you exhale.
Yeah.
So that would probably make it extra effective. So maybe he wasn't being facetious.
Actually, the instructions actually tell you that since it is an attractant, for you to put it a little bit farther away from where people are going to be, because you want to draw the mosquitoes away from those other areas. So it's not like what's the lamps or the
bug zappers?
Not the bug zapper, but
because those things are awesome. That's like entertainment for days, right there.
What are the candles? The candles that have the oil. It's citronella oil that you're supposed to put it close to the people because it repels the bugs. This actually attracts them to it. So they actually give you a little bit of a picture setup of what a property looks like and where the house is and where to install the tubes in order to get the mosquitoes attracted farther away from the house. So
makes sense. All right. Let me see. What else is there to talk about? I have, something I didn't mention. Dang it. I'm not allowed to show you. I can show you the box that I can do. And I probably mentioned it because it came in before I went to Florida. The Henry. Can I open it and let you look at it? I just can't touch it, I think, because YouTube's wonderful rule. There we go. I'm not handling a firearm. I am showing you the Henry Big Boy All-Weather in 45 Colt. So I need to get together with Chris. So we've had a number of Chris's here at Gear Report, but one of the originals, Chris Brooks, has got some reloading dies and ammo, and I need to see if I can borrow some and shoot it, and then either reload it for him or get some in and give him the factory stuff in exchange. I need to get out and shoot that this weekend. I need to shoot the M1 carbine that I just picked up. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe I'll be able to publish something on those pretty soon. Ooh, and something else I did before. So, two things I did that and I don't have them here at this computer. They're at my other computer. I can't show you. First thing was the Battle Wagon 2.0. We knew it was being sold. As part of the reason I was in Florida was to go look at one that I was thinking about buying, and which I didn't. I went down and looked at it, didn't end up buying it. But so I lost my train of thought. What was I going to talk about? When I got back from Florida, the driver came to pick it up to take that, happened to be going to a new owner that's in Florida. So before that Humvee left, I had a big pile of stuff out in the driveway and had one of my kids sitting there by the cameras set up by the tires. And were running over and crushing things. So we did squishy stuff. We did things that broke. I took not this type of little lantern, but if anyone saw the Vont, V-O-N-T, one of those little Chinesium companies, sent some little camping lanterns. They sent like 4 of them, and I still don't know why. But I put batteries in one, took it out of the box and put batteries in front of the camera, set it down, and ran over it back and forth with the Humvee and a couple things like that. It was funny. It was in pieces, but the little emitters were still glowing.
Was there anything that defeated the Humvee, or the Humvee win all those battles?
It won everything. It beat 2 cell phones and a laptop computer and a bunch of ice blocks, which were cool because you get on them just right and they'll explode. So that was pretty cool. And I missed Toby. Toby said he had to go. Have a nice weekend. So sorry I missed when he said that, but thanks for joining us, Toby. So I'm going to do that just playing around before the Humvee left. I shot some more, I'm calling it Humvee Versus, where I'm running over stuff just because I thought it'd be fun. So that's something that you can look forward to, that when I get edited, I'm going to post. And then the other thing is the Battle Wagon 2.0 was sold. And it was just a couple days after it was picked up. It was picked up on Tuesday. On Wednesday, I won an auction for its replacement. And I am super excited.
It's the one that you shared earlier, so that one's going to be the Battle Wagon 3.0?
The one that I shared? Where?
Privately.
Privately, yes.
Publicly, I'm not going to say anything.
I've told a few people.
Right, I'm not going to say anything. I just said I just wanted to.
Well, I'll say what it is because I'm excited. Yeah. I just am going to do. I figure if anyone cares enough to be here and an hour and 16 minutes into this, then they can find out about it. Otherwise, I'm going to do a video or something to kind of announce it shortly. But I'm so excited because the Battle Wagon was a first generation Humvee from the Army, an M1038 basic Humvee with a winch on the front. The second one was a third generation M1045A2, so it had a bunch of upgrades and a 4-speed, and it actually go highway speeds, and we put the turret in the top and everything, and I absolutely loved it. But very recently they started selling the 4th generation Humvees, and I thought that's what I was going to get. I thought I was going to get an M1165, so they went from the 10 series, the 1045, to the 11 series, and made a bunch of updates and upgrades. But then lo and behold, they had a 5th generation, a current version Humvee that came up for auction. There was only one, and as far as I know, there have been like a handful, like 5 or 6 that have been sold into civilian hands in this country, period. And I was able to bid and win that on Wednesday for a whole lot less than the government paid for it. But unfortunately, the paperwork process, because I've been through the paperwork process for a Marine Corps Humvee before, it's supposed to be 4, 6, maybe 8 weeks for the paperwork to clear. But the offices that have to process that paperwork, the government offices, are closed right now.
Yeah, they're all shut down.
I got no idea. I heard something like May 25th is the target date for them to reopen. And a friend of mine just sent me a note right before the show that said, dude, I bought one in December and they haven't processed the paperwork on it yet. And now he's hearing May 25th before they open. And it's probably going to be a cluster when they open. So who knows when I'll be able to pick it up. But I am stoked because it's got an aluminum hardtop with the hole for the turret. It's got the turret support built into it, basically. You got to put a slew ring underneath, which I don't know what that means, but that's what I'm told. And then the turret hardware, and that's going to be probably $4,000 or $5,000 to put that together, unfortunately. And it's got the aluminum back wall on it, and it's jacked up higher and got a better suspension and transmission, and maybe not I got to check on the transmission. I literally know very little about it. I just know.
But it's got the turbo diesel engine.
It's it's a 6.5 turbo.
Yeah.
So the first one had the 6.2. Battle Wagon 2.0 had a 6.5. And it had the GM version, what is it, General Engine Products or something? The GEP version is supposed to be better, and it didn't have that. Now this has not only a turbo, but it's got like a geared fan drive and some other latest generation upgrades as well. So
Cool.
I am so stoked.
Commissioned?
What's
Like,
that?
do you know what years this one was actually commissioned and active in the Marine Corps?
I know it says 2017 is written on the windshield.
Okay.
So that's probably the last service that he had.
Yeah, and the data plate, I think the data plate said something about a refurb in 2013. So I'm guessing maybe it was like an 1165 that was made a year or two before that, and then it was converted to what they call an 1165 A1 because it's got a variety of different upgrades in it. But I'm stoked. I didn't think I'd be able to get the current model. So,
and that, you know, unfortunately, you don't know any timeline of when you're going to be getting it. But yeah.
And just like the last one, in order to get it cheaper, I bought one that it says it doesn't. It doesn't say it doesn't run. It said they weren't able to run it because it didn't have a belt, the engine belt. And they take the belts off and they spray them with a rust preventative when they put them in long-term storage. Typically, if they can make it run easily, they put the belt on and make it run. Since this one doesn't have a belt on it and doesn't run, who knows? Last one I got was full of water and the engine was locked up, and it was a miracle we were able to get that running again. It ran like a champ. So I am optimistic we're going to be able to make this one run again. And if we don't, then I'm going to have to put a couple $1,000s into a replacement engine. But
rebuilding or replacing the engine, yeah.
Well,
you know, the thing about having one of the first few that are available is you don't have other people saying, well, you can do this, this, or this. You're actually the guinea pig this time. So that's the only bad. It could be fun, but you don't have other people to lean on and say what they've done, you know?
Right. And that's where I'm fortunate that through all of the stuff that I've done covering Humvees, I've developed enough contacts. I actually know a variety of people who are familiar with them.
Good.
But you're right. It's not like there's a huge pool of people out there that have experience with this. Certainly not in the after, in the civilian market. So it's going to be very interesting. And you know what? We're all friends here. I am going to
share
screen.
In the Marine Corps that was a mechanic that had worked on this before?
I know some people who have worked on this model, and can everyone see? Yeah. So similar to the last one, when you pick them up, they've been sitting outside, especially if they're desert tan. They sit in Georgia for a year or more waiting to be processed to be auctioned. And in that humid environment, that tan paint, the desert tan paint, gets this black funk growing on it, and they literally look like they've been in a fire. So that's interesting.
That's the mildew on the dust and the grime and everything, and what do you call the pollen from the trees just gathering and blackening out. Yeah. And
the black stuff, it actually grows. I mean, there's something on there. And you can see it's got the black all over the top, and they pulled like the headlights out and a couple things. But the other thing this has is it's got the air conditioning system installed, which certainly none that I've had so far have had that. So
you're gonna, by the time you put doors on it, you're gonna be traveling in style, in comfort in the end. Yeah,
and it's got the air conditioner with the condensers on both sides, so it ought to have pretty good capacity. That's what's in the above the rear wheels is a little grate, and that is for that to breathe. And it comes with like the back bumper is all built out, whereas I had to put that on the prior trucks. So it's got a lot of cool stuff, a variety of things that are just like the ones before. What in the world is that? Squeakiness.
It's my dog's toy. He brought it over here.
I see.
So with the doors or no?
No doors.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to find doors, and that's going to be expensive if I get the hard doors again. But I'll get to it eventually.
You're gonna have to get some glass so you can replace that backside glass on it. The centerpiece.
Yeah. So what I'm told is that you pop that out, and the window, the back window from an H1 Hummer fits in there. So it's a standard size, maybe like an RV window or something that will fit in there as well. So I'll have to play with that and figure it out. Yeah. Or maybe figure out how to pull out the center section, make it so I can just take that out and ride around without it sometimes. But regardless, I will have months to figure it out. I'm hoping that there's they pulled up a little section here in the cargo area. I'm hoping that does not mean that there's something under it that's broken that needs fixed, but it could. So who knows? We shall see. I'm nervous, but I've got a friend that picks up trucks there regularly. He runs a shop where they customize them, and he's going to look at it next time he's down there. He's going to search it out and give me a report on what he finds, but hopefully it'll be good news. You see the air conditioning vents up here where it's all built in, which, to civilized people, of course it's got air conditioning, but for a Humvee, that's unusual, very unusual.
Yeah. It looks pretty cool. I mean, well.
Yeah, so it's in the 80-mile-an-hour speedometer, which certainly wasn't in any of the other ones. It's got almost 1,200 miles on it.
Wow.
So yeah, it'll be out of the break-in period here shortly.
Yeah.
But I am super excited because the price that I got it for, it was not cheap, but I was able to pay for it, easily cover it with what I sold the other one for. So I got enough money to do whatever I need to it, just out of that, plus a little to pay some bills. And, hopefully everything goes smoothly and they surprise me and have it ready sooner than I'm expecting. Cool.
Yeah, it's going to need another bumper. Man, I really hate that you got rid of that. The last bumper that you got for the Humvee, that one, the slimmer profile, it was really sharp.
And it's literally the only one that I've ever even heard of, except my friend Todd told me he saw out at Coronado in the mid to late 90s, he saw 2 SEAL team trucks that had that small front bumper on it.
Yeah.
And he does movie trucks, so he is paid to know all the different configurations, and he'd never seen one like that before. So since then.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you should have kept that part, just knowing that you're going to get another one. But
for the extended front end. So I'm just going to go back to that screen. I'll tell you why I debated, and maybe I should, but the front end, you see how this grill sticks out like an extra foot?
Yeah.
That is the cooling stack is bigger, so the radiator and all that is larger and has a different fan drive to keep the engine cool.
So you're gonna need a different profile for your front bumper in order to accommodate for all that extra space and stuff.
I think that bumper would still fit on here, but it would make it that much longer, and it's already hard to fit one of these in the garage the way it is. So I don't know if I'll be able to even put a front bumper on it.
Yeah, you're gonna need to, because it does dress them up a lot more when you put the bumper on them.
Yeah, well, and if I bump into someone, I'd rather bend a bumper than bend the truck itself. So I consider a front bumper expendable. So I'll probably put something on there.
Yeah.
Oh, what happened? Ghost, we lost him and he came back.
He's back.
All right.
I changed over to my phone. so I could go outside.
I see.
Yeah.
So we are well over our time that we normally do this. Anyone else have anything you want to talk about, or do we want to make the rounds and shut this down?
I don't know.
Okay, I'll take that as a let's wrap it up. So this is the self-promotion elevator speech time. So let's kind of go clockwise around. Clover, Budget, JJ, and Ghost.
So yeah, Chris with Glover Tech. So check out Gear-Report.com. That's where my articles are at, and then everything else you can find as far as social media and all that good stuff through CloverTech.com. Good chat.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for being here.
I'm Mike with Budget Guns and Gear Reviews. You can find me here on YouTube, Gun Streamer, and Full 30 at Budget Guns and Gear Reviews. On the web at budgetgunsandgear.com. And oh yeah, this little website called Gear-Report.com as well.
Awesome.
Guys, as you know, JJ with Gear Report, and I'm one of the original instigators with Jeff to do the reviews and get more into the handguns and the outdoor stuff. So you can catch me here with him and doing, for the most part, more of the 22 rifles and pistols and stuff, and some outdoor stuff that Jeff pulls me along with. So check us out, guys. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for coming. And you mentioned the 22 stuff. You got one or two that you're still wrapping up, right?
Yeah.
You making progress on those?
Yeah, I'm making a little bit of progress on the two, and I'm going to finalize. I'm going to do, since I finally did a full break-in period for the Volt Quartz and Summit rifle. I'm going to do the final accuracy testing with the new benches and all the stuff that I made just recently.
Yes.
And be able to, I mean, the groups that I have for that rifle are pretty respectable already. You guys can see it over there.
Oh, hold on. I gotta make it bigger.
Yeah, so
how convenient you happen to have them there. I think for a normal rifle, I would agree that's impressive, but
and remember that I was shooting with our field table. That is the table that we can deploy just out there, and it was a soggy day, so any movement that you did, it actually did move the bench itself, and I can attribute a couple of the shots over in here that are a little bit higher just because the table was tilting a little bit. So we're going to be able to just, this was just part of breaking period and part of zeroing in the rifle and just seeing the function of it. So, I pretty much have the write-ups on this one on the tables and the other survival rifle that we talked about a couple of weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Are you leaving the house and going around people now?
No, not yet.
I was going to say, our old friend, Instructor John, came by the house yesterday and showed me his new AR. And we're talking about getting together to go shoot. So I was going to invite you, but I guess.
Yeah, no, I'm still doing the quarantine. Not because the government or anybody mandates it, but because my daughter was born with a lung issue, and we're just being careful for her not to bring anything home. So I'm trying to stay away. And the very few things that I do is have been pretty much by myself also. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm not even going to ask you what those things are because that sounds a little like I don't want to know.
What do you mean? On the what?
Exactly. Yeah, never mind. Ghost.
Yeah, Trey with Ghost Tactical. Check me out on YouTube and all the social media platforms. Website is ghosttacticalproductions.com, and you can find me at gear-report.com.
Interesting. Yeah, and Mitch isn't here to, what was he calling it? Gear-tactical something?
Yeah.
Like,
Here's
I
a
don't even know.
gear tack report. Gear tack report.
Yeah. Which I think he just made up a new URL that I don't even know if it exists, but yeah. So, something that I meant to mention, last thing before we wrap it up, everyone here probably knows already, but every Thursday at 7 o'clock, we have a camping chat on the Gear Report channel. So if you like, especially hammocks and camping and backpacking and that kind of thing, then you can check out Hanging with Pickle, which Pickle is Chris Gherkin, the camping editor here at Gear Report. And if you follow hammock camping stuff, you would be excited to go watch his show from last night where he had Dutch and Alex from Dutchware on. Dutchware is one of the premier cottage industry. The people who are really passionate about hammock camping generally are big fans of Dutch and Dutchware. So he's like the godfather of modern cottage industry hammock stuff. And he came on and chatted for an hour and a half with Pickle last night. So really interesting show. So check that out. We mentioned earlier that we are on Fridays at 8 p.m. Pickle is on Hanging with Pickle is Thursdays at 7 p.m. All times that I mentioned are Eastern time because that's where this guy is. And that guy down there. Oh, other way. That way. Yep,
Yeah.
down there. So anyhow, I think that's it for now. So everyone, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a fun show. And appreciate all the panelists showing up. Definitely appreciate all the folks in the audience popping in, asking questions, interacting with us. So we'll look forward to doing this again next Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on Gear Report. And until then, we'll see you at the range.